Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. And I think, isn't it Friday the 13th? Yeah, happy Friday the 13th, whatever that means. I've never had anything bad happen on Friday the 13th.
Headphones?
Oh, my headphones. Sorry, I forget that every time. So hang in there. And it's always good to have this little delay at the beginning while people are being notified and jumping on the video. And if you're watching the recording, just know that I start the content till we have enough people here. So I have one person, it's probably you. But I know you can hear me, even though I'm getting this ready. And I need a little more height on my phone. Maybe you have a thin book you can find. Or my calendar. There, this will probably work. Okay, yay, we have 2 people. Let me know you're here. Say hi or give us a thumbs up. We love knowing who's here and what's going on. As usual, you can ask questions. If you're watching the recording, of course, you can still post questions. We go back and answer them later or email them. Can you hear me, Hayden? I just realized I probably didn't turn on my sound. I mean, you can hear me? Okay. Yay. Good. Awesome. Sorry about all that shakiness. All right. So, excuse me. Today's video is about how what I've noticed, and I work with farmers all across the country, is people's customer base often stagnates or growth stalls at a certain point. And if you have a lot of money to keep pumping into your farm, that's fine. That will help you get a little further until you can hopefully get more customers. But if you eventually are going to get tired of this and tired of putting your own money in there, not making a profit, not growing enough to be able to build your farm to a profitable place. So eventually, sorry, I'm messing with my phone. I just got to get it right here. Eventually, you're going to go out of business. And I often, most farmers go out of business within 2 years. 2% make it to the 5-year mark. So you've got to do something to get past this hump of your customer growth stagnating. So let me go over last week's video because we're in the middle of a series of 3 videos before we open our course registration on January 24th. Last week's was about identifying your ideal customer. And this week's is about getting your email list set up. We have free training on how to do that so it connects with your website and you have some way to capture these new customers that you need so your growth does not stagnate, so you can keep growing, raising your prices till you're profitable. What I like to call the first group of customers you have that get you to that point where you realize you need more and they're not coming, that's called the low-hanging fruit. And the reason I call them low-hanging fruit is these are friends or family or people in your community that know you, people at church, people in your book club, people that know you from Facebook, your Facebook friends, not your farm page, but your Facebook friends have seen you. And so pretty much with this low-hanging fruit, all you need to do is hang out your shingle and you're in business. Hang out your shingle that says you're selling eggs or grass-fed beef or chickens or sheep or wool or whatever it is, ferments, vegetables, CSA, and you're in business because these people already know you and they have a certain level of trust with you. So all you do is say, hey, I started a farm, and they flock to you and buy from you. This gives the farmer a false sense of security. Like, wow, I got 50 customers my first year in business, and so it's only going to grow from there. But what happens is they have no way, they've not identified their ideal customer, so they're not connecting with those people, the low-hanging fruit, and so they lose them. They have no way to keep them from season to season. They aren't engaging with them with, twice a month emails year-round. So your low-hanging fruit is going to slowly disappear. And your low-hanging fruit is going to go from 50 customers that first year to 40 or 30, and you don't have a way to get the next group of customers. Now, I'm talking about kind of 3 groups of customers. The low-hanging fruit, and the next group of customers I like to call the mid-level buyers. Those are the people you have to be able to get in order to keep your farm growing and be able to make a profit. The skills that you use to get your first set of customers, that first year or 2 or 3 you were in business, are not the skills you're going to need to get the mid-level buyers. And in order for you to be successful, you have to be able to get those mid-level buyers. So you have to change something. You have to improve. You have to acquire these skills. You have to change who you are. You have to transform what you're doing on your farm in order to reach these mid-level buyers. These are people who may not know you personally, but they have this immense desire for the solution you produce. So they may not know you personally, but they know they want grass-fed beef. So they hop on the internet, they Google grass-fed beef, 10 farms come up in your area, plus, Walmart organic section has some, and Whole Foods has some, and the local farmers market has some. So, in a Google search, they get 10 or 15 places. These mid-level buyers, these people may not know you personally, but they know they want grass-fed beef, for example. So when that Google search comes up with 15 different places, how can you guarantee that they choose you? The only way you're going to be able to do that and continue this growth is by, number one, identifying your ideal customer, and then having your website set up in a way that immediately lets them know that you have the solution for you, they can trust you, and they are very excited to buy from you even though they've never met you. So you have to have your website written in a way that appeals to these people. You don't want your story on there about how you came to farming, or that, here's the feed you feed your chickens, or anything like that. It immediately has to let these people who do not know you know that they can trust you and that you are different and you stand out. Therefore, they should come to you, even though you might be more expensive than Walmart's grass-fed beef or Whole Foods grass-fed beef or the 3 farms they're going to pass on the way to your farm. So it takes a certain set of skills to get to those mid-level buyers, and that is what is going to allow your farm to grow and allow you to buy the few more cows you need for the next year until you can get to the point you're making a profit, probably at about the 5 to 7 year mark. If you don't focus on building those skills to get to those mid-level buyers, you won't be in business anymore. I can't accentuate that enough, that I work with hundreds of farmers across the U.S., and that's what will happen if you don't get those skills. So, and that is all, these are all things we go over in our course. Again, we hold your hand and make sure you get those skills to help you do that. The third set of customers, remember I said there were 3. It's kind of where we're at on our farm now, and I call those cold buyers. So we've got low-hanging fruit, mid-level buyers, and now the cold buyers. And the cold buyers, and that's something we teach in our advanced course, so you won't get that this time. You don't need it yet. You've got to get those mid-level buyers. But the cold buyers, you have to spend a lot more energy, and you have to have a more advanced set of skills to appeal to them. These are people who could benefit from your product. I'm going to use bone broth. We sell bone broth, and we sell bones, and we sell stewing heads. So they could benefit from some bone broth because they have an autoimmune disease or more than one. They have leaky gut. They have allergies. Their babies have eczema. They could benefit from bone broth, but they don't even know that yet. They've been going to doctors for 20 years. They're on medications for their rheumatoid arthritis, and then they're getting lupus. They're getting multiple autoimmune disease that they could benefit from bone broth, but they don't even know that yet. Those are called cold buyers. Now, what happens is they're so frustrated. They know they need help, but they don't know the answer is grass-fed beef or farm fresh eggs. They don't know that yet. So then your website, because that's how people buy today, they go to a website and they Google, help me with my lupus. And because the doctor hasn't helped them for 20 years and they're getting tired of that, they're starting their own research. So then when they Google, they come up with this medication and that medication, and buried down in there is a story off someone's blog post about they healed from lupus using bone broth. And they're like, aha, bone broth. So then they Google bone broth because they've had this little flash, this aha moment, and they think that might help. Maybe there's some hope besides medication. And again, they Google bone broth. all these listings come up for bone broth, including companies that will ship it to your door. So why should they leave their house and come to your farm if they can have it shipped to their door? Well, there are things you can have on your website, the way your website is written and set up, that will let them know instantly that they can trust you, you have the solution to their problem, and they are really inspired and motivated to drive out and see you and buy your bone broth. So you have to gain those skills, and it's not putting pictures of bone broth on your website. It's not showing the feed your chickens eat to make that bone broth. It's none of that. You have to have those skills to reach those cold buyers to continue to grow your farm. It's a very clear path, but you have to change yourself and upgrade your skills to do that. If you get stuck back in the low-hanging fruit and you don't gain any more skills to go beyond that, you're just going to go out of business and lose a lot of money. Because your low-hanging fruit, maybe you have more low-hanging fruit than I do and you have 100 people. Well, that's still not going to get you to the level you need to be to have a successful, profitable farm. So just a few things on the website that we do to make sure we reach these mid-level buyers who know us but don't really know what they need yet, and the cold buyers who have no idea that you can help them. We have a welcome gift. So when they come to our website, when you signed up for our 3 Cow Marketing website, you were able to download a welcome gift there. That changes, but right now it's the 8 traits of successful women farmers. On our website, it's a bone broth troubleshooting guide. We always try to do something like that the first quarter of the year when everyone's got their New Year's resolutions going on. So they get a welcome gift, which builds trust. And in our course, we teach you exactly how to create a welcome gift that's specific to your customers, because my welcome gift won't work for you. But we show you how to put that on your website. So when they get there, they're like, wow, not only does this person have an option for me I never considered, like bone broth, but they give me this free troubleshooting guide and teach me how to make my own at home. They've given me some free stuff and I don't even know them, which builds trust and builds, they want to come out. It starts the relationship building process, so they will come out to your farm and become customers. The other thing is you've got to have a plan set up for emailing them every couple of weeks. Now, in this week's blog post, you had a download of an email example that I sent to my customers. Emails you write to your customers at least twice a month, year round, no matter what business you're in, has to have these 4 components. Those are in that download. And there's also an example email, a sample email that I sent to my customers. And sorry, I had a phone call right then. Hopefully it didn't bleep out for very long. Okay, good. And then in that download, again, this is free. It just has the email I sent to my customers, and it shows where the 4 components are in that email. It shows the 4 components. In our course, you can actually write your emails, post them in our private Facebook group, and we help you brainstorm, to make sure you've got these 4 components in there. So I just want to encourage you that if your farm is kind of stagnating at your customers, if you're finding it really hard to find new customers, you need to upgrade your skills because they're out there. There are, people all over looking for the products we sell. There's more and more exposure in the media and in magazines and, mainstream publicity that farm fresh products are helping. So people are looking for them, but you have to have a way to connect with these people and get them on their email list and get them out to your farm and build deep relationships with them. And it's just a set of skills that you learn. Everyone can do this. If you want a great example, go to the Facebook group that you're in right now watching this video and look up Graham Donahue's post from yesterday. He worked really hard since last week. Graham is in his 20s. He identified his ideal customer. He put a description up there and it looks great. Sorry, somebody, oh, shoot. What did I, am I still live? Sorry, I had a big thing in the middle of my screen and when I went to get rid of it, something happened. Anyway, look up Graham Donahue's post. He took last week's email that I sent out. He downloaded the worksheet. He watched the video. He asked me some questions in the Facebook group. You all can do this, but he's an example of someone who is taking it by the horns and having progress. And then yesterday, after a week's work, he came up with his ideal customer description, posted it in there. It looks great. When he starts the course next in a couple weeks, he's going to be that much further ready to go. And he's going to be sold out. I mean, he's just going to be a real go-getter on his farm, and he's going to be able to become profitable very quickly, which means he can keep expanding to the point where he's making a nice living from his farm. So I just would throw that out there as an example for you to go see what he came up with from scratch. You know, just a month ago, he and I were chatting in the Facebook group, and he was wondering why he needed this. And he went from there to having a ideal customer description, which means he will be able to connect with them and make his farm profitable. I mean, that's like the first step. Okay, so any questions? I can't see any questions on my phone the way this live video is set up. But if you have any questions, let me know. You can always, and my daughter Hayden posted the blog post for this week's email that has a video and also the download with my sample email too, and the 4 components of an email that will connect with your customers. All right, well then that's it. The 3 types of customers. You're most likely at the place of low-hanging fruit, maybe mid-level buyers. And if you don't know how to reach the mid-level buyers and the cold buyers in the future, you may not be around for very long, because you can only sustain a farm pumping money into it for so long before you get too tired and broke. And so I encourage you to learn how to reach those mid-level buyers and the cold buyers too, because it is all things that you can learn. All right, that's it for this week's video. Look for next week's video. And then again, our course is going to open January 24th through 31st. Registration will be opened. So thank you, everyone, and have a great Friday the 13th and a great weekend.